أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always
Okay, good afternoon to our math teachers across the country. We are live again here at the EdTech Unit Facebook page and EdTech Unit official YouTube channel and Casio Calculators Philippines official Facebook page. This is the opening salvo of our MathTech Day, Casio Technology Sessions spearheaded by Casio Calculators Philippines in partnership with the Educational Technology Unit. Today we'll be having another session with a very knowledgeable and competent resource speaker this afternoon who will discuss technology application for statistics and probability. And hindi natin patatagalin pa, let's now introduce our speaker this morning. Our speaker is currently a faculty of the Philippine Normal University, the National Center for Teacher Education of the Philippines. She completed her Bachelor of Science in Mathematics for Teachers degree at cum laude at Philippine Normal University and placed 6th in the licensure examination for teachers in the same year. She finished her Master's of Education in Mathematics degree in the same university and her Doctor of Philosophy in Science Education, major in Mathematics degree in the De La Salle University, Manila, where she received an Outstanding Dissertation Award. Her research interests include science and math education and the integration of technology in the teaching and learning process. Let us all welcome our speaker this afternoon, Dr. Celina P. Sarmiento. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat at masayang Sabado po sa ating lahat. So nakakatuwa naman na kahit Saturday ay very eager pa rin tayong matuto. So it's a pleasure to be with you here today po to teach you one technology that you can apply in teaching statistics and probability. Thank you for the introduction, Teacher Bads.
Yes po. Good luck, ma'am.
Ayan po. Naka-share na po ba ang aking screen? Okay, ayan. So my discussion for today will concentrate on the use of ClassWiz, one of Casio Education's calculator for teaching statistics and probability. So for today, what we're going to do is I will show you some types of computations in statistics and probability wherein you can use ClassWiz. Also, stay tuned kasi at the end, we will give you a link to a module that you can give to your students with corresponding examples na po iyon, kung paano gamitin ang calculator, and also with exercises that you can assign to them. Ayan, so stay tuned lang po tayo. Okay? So why do we have to integrate technology? No? Why do we have technology? Why do we have to integrate technology in our classes or in planning our instruction? There are many types of technology that we can use naman, but of course, in the mathematics classes, especially in statistics and probability, the use of calculator is one of the things na we can incorporate. Okay, we can teach our students calculator skills. So based on the policy guidelines on daily lesson preparation for the K-12 basic education program, so that's Ed Order number 42 series of 2016. So ICTs are basically information handling tools that are used to produce, store, process, distribute, and exchange information. So it is encouraged to integrate technology in teaching and learning because it involves activities and processes with the use of technology that will help promote learning, enhance the abilities and skills of both the learners and, of course, the teachers. With the ability of technologies in school, as teachers can integrate technology in the planning, delivery, and assessment of instruction. What else? Teachers can also integrate the use of technology into different parts of the lesson. If you look at the K-12 mathematics curriculum, diba, the curriculum guide, there are different components or different topics there wherein the integration of the use of calculator is a must, especially in statistics and probability. So based on this DepEd's order, various instructional strategies and methods can be delivered using ICT equipment, peripherals, and applications. And again, calculator is one of those. Through this, teachers can plan learning opportunities that allows learner to access, organize, and process information, create and develop products, and also to communicate and collaborate with others using ICTs. Also, through the use of ICT in lessons, it is also one way of differentiating instruction to the K-12 classroom. So we are really encouraged to integrate the use of technology in our lessons. So kahit po tayo ay nasa pandemic, hindi naman po imposible na i-integrate natin kung paano gumamit ng calculator sa ating mga classes in statistics and probability. There is actually a way that we can do it. Ayan. So, why is it important that we develop the skills in using calculator? Why do we have to integrate the use of calculator in teaching mathematics, especially statistics and probability? One, calculators help students overcome computational limitations. Let's face it, there are computations that we cannot do mentally or we cannot do manually. So through the use of calculator, we can do calculations that involves bigger numbers. We can solve problems that involve higher order numbers. Wherein, if you do it manually, magtatagal lang, no? Mauubos lang yung estudyante doing the computation manually. Calculators encourage the use of multiple strategies because you can use the calculator to verify, and you can use other strategies to check the answer. Yan. Calculators help students solve more problems in less time. Which is important, I think, in statistics and probability because students can concentrate on the application of statistics and probability and less on the computation, no? Kasi baka mamaya naubos na ang oras ng estudyante or masyadong nag-concentrate ang estudyante kung paano mag-solve ng standard deviation. Naubos ang oras ng estudyante paano mag-solve ng Pearson R. Na sa totoo lang, hindi niya na naintindihan kung para saan ang standard deviation at para saan ang Pearson R. At the end of the day, when doing such computations, what's important is how to apply it or kung para saan yung gamit ng mathematical concept. Yan. And the use of calculator helps students better concentrate on the application of the subject rather than the computation itself. Calculators promote persistence in problem solving also because since you can do computations easily, you can try different methods. Mas madaling mag-shift ng isang method papunta sa isa. You can try again and again because you have more time, di ba? Calculators foster a growth mindset. Kasama na yon, no? Kasi you spend less time in the calculations or in the computation, so you can try other things. Okay? Makakapag-try ka ng iba't ibang solution. Also, calculators promote a positive attitude towards problem solving. Since through the use of calculator, nababawasan yung anxiety ng estudyante na magkamali sa pag-compute. And again, they can concentrate more on the application of mathematics rather than the computations involved in mathematics. And last, calculators help foster technological skills. Well, as math teachers, it is our responsibility, no? It is our responsibility not just to discuss or not just to impart knowledge of mathematics, but also to transfer skills in technology. Because we're heading towards Education 4.0. Iba na po ang skills na required sa ating mga estudyante. Pag sila naman po ay nasa field na hindi naman po yan magko-compute ng mano-mano, no? Siyempre gagamit sila ng technology. Ngayon pa lang, maganda po na sinasanay natin sila to do these calculations or to use calculator in doing computations. Ayan. So, for today, what I'm going to show to you is one of Casio's most popular calculator, the ClassWiz. So, yung ClassWiz po ay may dalawang klase. You have the 991EX and the 570EX. The only difference is that the 991EX is also a solar-powered version. But in terms of function, they are the same. Ayan. So what's good with this calculator? So it has many different functions. Hindi lamang po statistics. Okay? It can do different types of computations. So on the next slide, I'll show that to you. Okay? Sagit lang po. Ayan. So what are the types of calculations that you can do with your ClassWiz? So you have your general calculations, you like the fundamental operations. It can handle complex numbers. So addition, multiplication, division of complex numbers, or the other operations that you do with complex numbers, yung may mga imaginary po. ClassWiz can handle that. It can do base n calculations, yung sa application niya po sa computer, binary, octal, decimal, hexadecimal. Also in linear algebra, if you want to do matrix calculations, it's possible to do that. Also vector calculations, okay, it's also here. So sa mga nagtuturo po ng physics. Also statistical and regression calculations. So we will concentrate on this particular function because that's my topic for today. Ayan po. So ito ang pinakagagamitin nating function ng ClassWiz ngayong araw na ito, no? Yung statistical and regression correlations. Also, I'm going to show to you some distribution calculations because that's part of probability. Also, ClassWiz has a spreadsheet calculations. So it works like your Microsoft Excel. No? The basic functions of Microsoft Excel, you can do it now with a calculator. So you also have a table, like if you want to, you can input a function, then assign different values and generate the value of the function depending on the value that you have added. You also have equations and function calculations. So if you want to try to solve systems of linear equations or polynomial equations up to the 4th degree, or yung linear system na 4 equations, kaya po ito ng ClassWiz. It can also handle inequality calculations, also ratio. Yeah, so those are some of the functions of the ClassWiz, no? So, no, paano ka magtuturo ng ClassWiz ngayon, no? Since nasa flexible learning tayo. Now, what you can do is you can download this Calculator Emulator. Pumunta lamang po tayo sa website ng Casio, then you can download the Calculator Emulator if your classes are online. So during synchronous sessions po, you can show this. You can show the process of the calculation to your students. Or another way is you can take a video of yourself, di ba? You can take a video of your hand making the calculations. Tapos, isasama natin yon dun sa mga modules na ipapadala natin sa ating mga estudyante. No? So, pwede pong ganon. Yeah. So, again, if your classes is fully online, sa mga nakakapag-online class po, you can download the emulator. Or another way, kasi I think iba po sa atin ay naka-modular. No? Kasi mga estudyante po natin ay has no capacity to do or to attend online classes. What you can do is you can take a video of yourself doing the computation, then you can include the video file to the module, no? Pwede po sigurong i-USB or ipadala sa Facebook. Ayan. So, how can you use, or what are the different usage of ClassWiz in statistics and probability? So, let's start with the basic statistical computations. Okay, let's start with the basic statistical computations. Yung derivation po ng mean, median, mode, standard deviation. So, statistics, when you say statistics, it is the science that deals with the collection, analysis, organization, analysis, and interpretation of data. Okay? So, again, at the end of the day, the most important thing is not really knowing the step-by-step process of how to compute, but how to apply the computations in real life. So, parang kapag kumuha po ba ng mean, anong ibig sabihin? If you take the value of the median, what does it mean? If the value of standard deviation is something like this, how will the students interpret that? And if you're just doing the computation with the calculator, again, the students can concentrate on the application. Kasi medyo mahaba po, like yung standard deviation, medyo mahaba ang process ng pagsosolve, no? So baka mamaya, alam mo, yung anxiety ng estudyante na wag magkamali sa pagsosolve ng standard deviation, it might be the reason why hindi siya makapag-solve ng maayos. Ayan. So if you have your ClassWiz with you, how do you solve something like this? Ayan. So you just get your ClassWiz. The thing with calculators nowadays is it stores information po. No? Ibig sabihin kung ano po yung ini-input mong data, nagsistore siya sa calculator. So it's a good practice at maganda rin po na ituturo natin ito sa ating mga estudyante. Okay? Sabihin natin sa ating mga estudyante, it's a good practice to, when you start using the calculator, to reset the calculator just so empty ang kanyang memory. No? So to do that po, you press Shift 9. Okay? Then, ang habit ko po, I'll just initialize all. So, pag initialize all po, ito ay balik sa kanyang factory settings. So, you have here 1, setup data, 2, memory, 3, initialize all. So, the number there states how to execute the function. So, if I press 1, it will set up the data. If I press 2, it will clear the memory. Or 3, if I press 3, then it will initialize all. So, pipindutin ko na lang po ang 3. Then, ang equals po in this function, it acts like the answer, it acts like the enter button, yung equal, no? So, press equals, okay, for yes, and ayan po, na-reset na natin ang calculator to its factory settings. Ayan, so again, to execute, that's Shift 9, press 3, then equals. So, if I press AC, so wala na pong laman ang memory ng aking calculator and I can add additional memory. So, how do I input the values, no? Ayan. So, 3 po ang pinapakuha sa atin ng problem. Actually, 4. You want the mean, you want the median, and the standard deviation, both the population and the sample. So, we want both the population and the sample values. So, to execute the function, pupunta lang po ako sa menu. Okay, menu. There. Then, I will now search the statistical function. So, it is at number 6. You can press 6. Okay? Or, you can use the arrow keys to navigate, and once 6 is highlighted, you can just press equals. Okay? And it will now ask you what type of statistical computations you want to perform. So, this is a basic, no? Basic ito. We're just looking at one set variable, no? So, I will choose 1. I will choose 1. There. So in this mode, I can now input the data. So to input the data, you just press 42. Again, equals po natin ay it serves as your enter button. So 42, parang enter. Ayan. Then next po ay ito, 44. Enter. 41 equals, you have 48 equals, 43 equals, 49 equals, 45 equals, 48, 44, 50, then 43, okay po, saan ako? 43, 48, okay, then 46, then 40, and the last number is 48. Yan. So one good habit that we want to teach our students is to check the data. Ibig sabihin, remember in statistics, isa lang pong maling number ay mali na po lahat ang ating magiging sagot. So it's a good habit that we teach our students to always double check the number that they have added. Now the good thing about the technology that we have today is you can go back to the data to check it. So you can use the arrow keys. Ayan po. You can go back to the number again one by one and double check whether it is really the given data in the problem. So double check natin. So 42, 44, 41, 48, 43, 49, 45, 48, 44, 50, 43, 48, 46, then you have 40 and 48. Ayan, so tama. Paano po pag nagkamali tayo? Halimbawa, ito po hindi talaga siya 40. Halimbawa, dapat 42 siya, no? Yung 14th number, it's supposed to be 42. Simple lang po. You just use the arrow keys to navigate towards the number that you want to change. Then use the number keys to enter the correct number. So type lang po natin 42 equals. So mapapalitan na po iyon ng tamang number. Yan. So kahit po nagkamali, if you go back to it, pwede mong palitan, no? Okay, balik ko na po siya sa 40 equals. Ayan. Ayan po. So, how do you now solve for the value, no? Ang hinahanap natin, mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. So, you just click option. Ayan po. Then, you can click one variable calculations, that is number 3. Okay, so if you press number 3, you will see here the different types or the different computations that were done to the number. So ito po ang benefit ng ClassWiz, no? Mabilis na po siyang mag-compute. So you can already see here, you have here the value of the mean, nandito na po ang summation, nandito na po ang summation ng square, nandito na po ang population variance. This is the population variance. You have the standard deviation. Okay, this is the population standard deviation. You have the sample variance here. Ayan. So kung makikita nyo meron tayong parang scroll bar dito, no? So if it's like that, it means to say that there is still more information on the next page. So to go to the next page, just click arrow down. So you can see here the sample standard deviation. You have n, which tells us the number, the minimum number of, the number of data we added, which is 15, the minimum value, the value of the first quartile, the value of the median, the value of the third quartile, okay, and the maximum value. Since it already displays all this information, you just have to lift what you need. So you need the mean. Ang sabi po sa atin, ang mean daw ay 45.27. So it's already here. Then you need the median. The median is here. Ayan po. So, median is 45. And you need the standard deviations, the two types of standard deviation, both population and sample. So, the population standard deviation is 3.02 and the sample standard deviation is 3.13. Ayan po. So, mas mabilis na, no? And because students can do computations within a few clicks away or within a few presses away, they can again concentrate more on the application of these numbers. So parang, halimbawa, if the mean is 45.27, 45.27 ang mean, no, you can easily ask your students what that mean is for. Anong ibig sabihin yan? If the median is 45, para saan ba? Anong ibig sabihin yan? Also, with the standard deviation, how can the students interpret the data if the standard deviations has the following or has the given values? Okay po? Ayan. Sige. Okay, next. Ayan. So, in this problem, we are to find the range, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the semi-interquartile range of the following set of scores in a general mathematics quiz. So actually, ito yung same, ito po ay same data natin kanina, no? Ito rin po yung ating information kanina. So, if you go back to your ClassWiz, kung babalik po kayo sa inyong ClassWiz, since same lang po yung dataset, hindi mo na kailangan i-enter yan, no? So, yan po ay nandun na. So, kahit i-press nyo po yung AC, ayan, babalik ka po sa inyong dataset. And as you can see, it's the same set of numbers that are given. But for this problem, we are being asked to enter or to add additional values. So, yung lower quartile po, katulad ng pinakita ko kanina, so again, press 3. So, nandito na po yun, no? So, we already know Q1, we already have Q2. So, Q1 is the lower quartile. Upper quartile is Q3. Okay po? Ayan. So, paano natin hahanapin ang range at paano natin hahanapin ang semi-interquartile range? So, yun po kasi, hindi siya automatic, inire-release ng Calcu, no? So, we have to compute. So, press lang po natin yung AC. Ayan. So, what we can do is click option. So, the data is within the calculator since hindi naman po tayo nag-erase pa ng data. Ayan po. So, you can click option. Okay. Then, you can click, again, one variable calculations. That's number 2. Ayan. I'm sorry. Ayan. So, sorry. Options. So, kung mapapansin nyo po, meron po kayong, you can still scroll. Di ba po? You can still scroll because you have this symbol. So, there are still options below on the next page. So, you can click down. Ayan po. So, if you click down, to find the range, as you all know, the range is maximum minus the minimum. Again, the range is maximum minus the minimum. So, kailangan natin ng maximum value and we need the minimum value. So, to solve, we click 3. Ayan. Then, we need the maximum. So, that's number 5. Ayan po. Okay? Then, from the maximum, we are to subtract. Balik lang po tayo doon sa ating mga options. Click option again. Okay? Again, if you see the symbol, it means to say that you still have more options below or on the next page. So, you click that again. Again, you go to min max. So, that's number 3. Then, you can see here the minimum value, which is number 1. Okay? So, click lang po natin yung number 1. And you can see here the function that would define the range. So, maximum minus the minimum. And if we click equals, it gives us the value of the range. Sorry, it's taking a while to load lang po. Siguro dahil sa streaming, no? Ayan. So, you can solve the range that way. So, paano naman kapag interquartile range? Anong hinahanap natin? Semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile range. So, the semi-interquartile range is Q3, the third quartile minus the first quartile divided by 2, or the average of the third and the, well, not really the average, no? Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2 is the semi-interquartile range. Ayan po. So how do we solve for that? So, we can probably click this. Ayan. So, go to option. Then, we can go to minimum maximum kasi nandyan po yung Q1 at Q3. So, we press 3. Then, we press 4 to execute the upper quartile minus, again, down again, 3. Then, the first quartile, that's number 2. Ayan po. So, again, option, down, minimum, maximum lang po. Ayan. So, para lumabas yung itong option na to, and that you can lift or you can pull out Q3 and Q1, then divided by 2, and it will give you 2.5. And that is the value of the semi-interquartile range. And so, that's the value of the semi-interquartile range. So, napansin niyo po, medyo mabilis na yung computation. So, remember, if you will get the median, the upper quartile and the lower quartile by hand, mano-mano, ang unang-una niyo pong gagawin ay i-arrange ang number, no? Kasi kailangan naka-ordering po or may ordering yung number, but you don't have to do that anymore. So you just have to input the number, and ClassWiz can already arrange it for you and determine the value of Q3 and Q1. Ayan. So it saves you time kasi hindi mo na kailangan mag-rearrange ng number. Ayan po. Next. Ayan. So what if you have something like this? You have a group data this time. Okay, you have a group data. So the table below shows the grade of 50 students in physics. Calculate the mean and the variance. So we are to find the mean and the variance. But as you can see, we are given here a group data or naka-table na po siya. So you are given class intervals on the left side, and on the right side, you have the frequency. So ang ibig sabihin po nito, 8 ang nakakuha ng 90 to 94. No? 16 ang nakakuha ng 85 to 89, 13 ang nakakuha ng 80 to 84, 7 ang nakakuha ng 75 to 79, and 6 ang nakakuha ng 70 to 74. So if you can still remember, if you have to do it manually, kung mano-mano po, kukunin mo ang midpoint ng bawat class interval, no? So, ito ang midpoint nito, 92, ito 87, 82, 77, 72. Then what you're going to do is you will multiply those midpoints to the frequency, di ba? You will add it, then you will divide it by how many students you have, or the total frequency, which is, it usually takes time, and mas prone to errors because yung handling ng data, masyado kang maraming minamanipulate, no? So how can we use the ClassWiz for these types of computation? So if you get your ClassWiz, ayan. Sa settings ko po ngayon, hindi naka-on ang aking frequency, no? Kasi if I go to option, if I go to data, okay, balik na ba tayo, Teacher Bads?
Yes po, okay na po.
Okay, sige. Ayan. So again, if you want to solve this, you in this mode, naka-frequency off po kasi ako ngayon, no? So in this mode, you cannot solve a table or you cannot solve group data. Naka-mute po ba ako?
Loud and clear po.
confirm na.
Meron
Okay.
po audio. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Oh, ito talaga na may mga ganito lang talaga tayong technological glitches. So, tsaga-tsaga lang po tayo, huwag tayong mag-alala at may vaccine na naman. Ayan. So, the first thing that we have to do is to turn on the frequency. Actually, yung frequency, you can just leave it on, no? Pag hindi mo kailangan ng frequency, di iwanan mo lang yung frequency na 1111, no? Ayan. So, how do you turn on the frequency? So, to turn on frequency, you click Shift, Setup. Ayan. So, setup po ang babaguhin natin, no? Setup ng Calcu. Then, hanapin po natin yung pang statistics. So nakikita nyo po ulit ito, it means to say that you have more options on the next pages. So, input, output, angle unit, engineer symbol, wala dyan ang kailangan ko. So, doon ako sa number 3, yung statistics. Ayan. So, it will ask you, if you click statistics, yung number 3 po, it will ask you to turn frequency on or off. So, you will just select number 1. Kasi we want to turn it on. Ayan, 1. So, kapag na-select nyo po yung 1, it means to say that frequency is already turned on. So, once frequency is already turned on, naka-statistics na po ako, no? So, hindi po ako nagpalit ng settings. Ayan. So, you can click option 3, data. Ayan. So, makikita nyo po, 2 column na yung aking table. You have a column on the left side for the values, and you have the column on the right side for the frequency. So, you can now input the data. Ayan. So, paano po ito? Kasi interval ang given. Anong x ang i-input ko? So, ang kailangan nyo lang po is you just determine the midpoint, no? You just determine the midpoint, similar to how the long computation or how the manual computation is done. So, ang i-input ko po for 90 to 94 would be 92. Ayan po. So, the midpoint of 90 and 94. The midpoint of 90 and 94. Ayan. Then, for 85 to 89, ang midpoint po niyan, madali lang po kumuha ng midpoint. 85 plus 89 divided by 2 lang po. Ganun lang po ang pagkuha ng midpoint. So, ang sunod po ay 87 equals. Ang sunod po ay 80 to 84. So, you have 82. Ayan. Yung 75 to 79 ay 77. At yung 70 to 74 ay 72. So, you have added the midpoints of each class interval. Ayan. So, after adding the midpoints, you are now ready to indicate the frequency. Ayan. Kasi by default, the calculator adds 1111, no? But as you can see, the frequency that we have are different. Okay? So, yung 92 daw, it corresponds to 8, no? There are 8 students. Yung next would have 16. Yung next would have 13. Yung next would have 7. And the next would have 6. Okay, equals. So, again, ang practice po natin, you always go back to the data to check whether you have added the correct data. So, tatandaan po natin, all of our students are required to do research in the future. Maybe not during our classes, but at some point in time, kapag sila po ay nasa senior high school, kapag sila po ay nasa college, ay magre-research po yung mga iyan. And part of conducting research is doing statistical analysis. So it's a good practice that we teach them, going back to the data and making sure that we have incorporated or added the correct values. Because again, in statistics, isa lamang pong mali mo, hindi ka natatama pagdating doon sa dulo. Ang kagandahan nga po ng calculator, madali ka na pong mag-check at madali ka na rin magpalit kung may kailangan mampalitan na data. Ayan. So I think tama naman po ang ating nailagay, no? So, ang hinahanap po natin ay mean and variance. Okay, mean and variance. So, ganun po ulit tayo. Option. Then we are after one variable calculations. So, So again, to click option, click nyo lang po yung option. It's on the upper left. Once you click option, ayan, may lalabas po dyan. Sorry, medyo may delay lang po ang sharing natin, no? You have select type, you have editor, you have one variable calculations, and you have statistical calculations. Ayan. Then you just simply click 3. And in this window, makikita nyo na po dyan, you have the mean, which is what is being asked in the problem. So the mean is 83.3. Excuse me. Sorry. Ayan. The mean is 83.3. And you're looking for the variance. No, dalawang klase ang variance. No? You have the population variance and you have the sample variance. The population variance is 37.81 and the sample variance is 38.58. So, nandito po yun. I think ang practice po natin pag walang sinabi kung anong klaseng variance ang hinahanap, whether it's population or sample, ang hinahanap po natin o ang sagot ay yung sample, which is this one, no? Yung 38.58. So, imagine, no? Usually, if you are after the mean and the standard deviation or the variance of a group data, ang ending po niyan ay merong paper yung estudyante na maraming columns, no? Kasi isa-isa po, by row ang computation niyan. Tapos, pag computation po nila ng by row, kukunin nila yung summation, tapos i-add nila yon sa formula, saka pa nila makukuha yung tamang sagot. So with this one, it shortens the process again so that you can concentrate more on the application of the concepts in statistics. Tapos, parang less pressure po ito sa estudyante. O kasi nakakapag-solve sila gamit yung, or less pressure because they do not have to deal with, you know, very lengthy computations anymore. Okay po? Ayan. So, we have something similar. So, ito naman po, excuse me lang po. Ano sabi dito? The set of data below shows the ages of participants in the 2019 math summer camp. Find the first and the third quartiles and the median of the data set. So, this one is very similar. Para rin po itong nakagrupo. So, you have the different ages. So, the ages of the participants ranges from 10 to 17 years old. So, ang ages po nila ay 10, 11, 12, hanggang 17. And you have the frequency of each age. So, the frequency here refers to how many are age 10, excuse me, how many are age 11, how many are age 12, and so on. Ayan. So, we are to find, ang hinahanap natin, the first and the third quartiles and the median of the data set. Okay, we are to find the median of the data set. Which is, again, using our ClassWiz, ay madali na po nating magagawa. Ayan. So, ang pwede nyo pong gawin, you can click option, 3 data, then palitan nyo po yung lalabas na data dito. Ayan, pwedeng ganun, no? Papalitan nyo po siya ng kung ano man yung given sa atin. Okay, you can do that. Or, what you can do is, again, to reset, no? Pwede namang ganun. You can just click initialize all equals. Ayan. Then you go back to statistics again. So menu. So go to statistics, which is number 6. We're still at the one variable. Isa pa lang naman po ang variable natin, no? Okay. So ayan. So hindi ko ito magagamit kasi naka-off ang aking frequency. I have to turn on the frequency kasi may frequency akong involved. So shift, set up. Again, go to statistics, that's number 3. Tapos frequency on. Ayan. Shift, set up, tapos down, go to statistics, then frequency on. So makikita nyo po, lalabas na dyan yung frequency column so that you can now add the data. So subukan po natin. So you have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. There. Ayan. Then we add now the frequency for each age. So sabi po sa ating data, may 5 10 years old. May 10 na 11 years old. May 12. Ay, mali. Sorry. Ayan. Ayan. So ang kagandahan po nito, pag nagkamali ka, madali namang mag-correct. So 5, 10, 27 po pala ang 12 years old. Ayan. So, then, ang 13 years old ay 18. Ang 14 years old ay 6. Ang 15 years old ay 16. At ang 16 years old, I think itong pinakamarami ay 38. And 17 years old ay 10. Ayan po. No? So, ang hinahanap natin, medyo madami, the first and third quartiles. Also, what else? The median of the data set. The median of the data set. Diba? So, imagine if you have to rearrange all these numbers, tapos, iisa-isahin mong compute ng first, third, and median. So, medyo mahabang computation ito. So, with this one, madali na lang. Just click option, one variable calculations, that's number 3. Ayan. So, it gives you the rest, no? It gives you all the possible things that you can come up with the data. Ang kailangan natin ay first quartile. So, ang first quartile po natin ay 12. Ayan, 12. Our third quartile ay 16 and the median is 14. Ayan po. So, mabilis na lang ang ating computations. So, mabilis mag-check, mas mabilis ang less prone to errors. Okay? Ayan. So, how do we solve something similar? Still the computation of the mean and the median, but this time in a probability distribution. No? Sample natin ito sa probability. Ano? So, you have here a table also. So, ito po ay mga topics sa expectation. No? Sa expectation. So, you have the possible values of x and the probability that x will happen. So, sabi dyan, a coin is flipped 3 times and the number of times it lands head up is recorded. If x is the number of heads that shows, then we have, so this is again the probability distribution for the possible number of heads that shows when a coin is flipped 3 times. So this is an extension of extension of a topic in probability. So usually po pagtapos natin magtapos natin ng multiplication rule sa probability, ito ang next topic, no? Yung random variable at yung inyong probability distribution. So ang nakikita nyo po sa screen ay tinatawag natin na probability distribution. Okay? Because you have the random variable x, ayan, random variable x and the corresponding probabilities. And if you have a probability distribution, it is possible to get the mean and variance of this distribution. So, paano po ito? So, if you are to solve a probability distribution, very similar process po. Similar process lamang. Ayan. Similar process, babalik lamang po kayo dito, no? Ayan. So, sige. Menu, statistics, Menu, 6, 1 variable. Ayan. So, para mag-clear, no, pwedeng shift, menu, statistics, then empty na po ulit ang inyong dataset. So, Balik lamang po kayo dito, nasa one variable calculations pa rin po ako, but the frequency this time, what you will add as frequency is the probability. So to do this, you click 0. Ayan, so yan po ang mga values ng x. Yung number of heads, when you toss a coin 3 times, can possibly be 0. Pwedeng walang heads, di ba? Tails lahat. Pwedeng 1, pwedeng 2, at pwedeng 3. However, for the frequency, you will not indicate the frequency. I know ang term dyan ay frequency, but instead of indicating the frequency, you will add the probability. You will add the probability. So 0.125. Ang next natin ay 0.375. Ang sunod po natin ay 0.375. Ayan, susundan nyo lang po ang ating table. And the last one is 0.125. There. Again, we are after the mean and the variance. To get the mean and the variance, it's the same process. It's the same process like what we're doing in the basic calculations in statistics, no? You just click option. Again, 3, yung one variable calculations. 3. Ayan. So, it will now give you the mean. Ang mean po natin, sabi sa ating ClassWiz, hintayin lang natin lumabas ng konti, no? Sorry, may delay po ng kaunti. Ayan. The mean is 1.5. Okay? So, the mean is 1.5. So, ano pong ibig sabihin yan? Okay? Well, in terms of probability, ibig sabihin po, pag nag-toss ka ng coin ng 3 beses, on average, no, 1.5 times lumalabas yung heads. With a variance of, ang variance po natin ay 0.75. 0.75. Ayan. So that's what mean, yan po tinatawag nating expected value, no, sa probability distribution. So, kapag nag-toss ka ng coin ng 3 beses, ang expected value po ng number of heads is, on average, 1.5. Okay po? Ayan. Okay? Sige po. Next. Okay. So, aside from the discrete probability distribution, maipakita ko lang din po sa inyo. Ayan. Na tayo mag-problem. So, ayan po. So, punta lang po ako sa regular calculations, no, before I proceed with the other probability distribution. May delay lang po ng kaunti. Pasensya na po. Ayan, lumabas na siya. So, in the calculations mode, dun po sa 1, dito po, no? 1. Ayan. So, the calculate mode, the most basic computation in a ClassWiz. So, pindutin po natin yan. Ayan. So, in this mode, aside from computing expected values, there are many other computations in probability na you can do with your calculator. So, syempre, ang pinaka-common na computation natin sa probability is factorial, no? Yung ating factorial notation. So, for instance, we want to get 5 factorial. 5 factorial. So, saglit lang po, ha? Ayun. Sorry, medyo nawala ako. Ayan. So, halimbawa, 5 factorial, in long computation, the long computation is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. No? And you will get 120 if you do the manual computation, which takes too long. No? Now, you don't have to do that in probability. In ClassWiz, you have a factorial computation. Nandito po siya sa bandang gitna. No? Nakikita niyo po yung x factorial katabi po ng c. Katabi ng c. So if you want 5 factorial, click nyo lang po yung 5. Just click 5 there. Then, kulay yellow po ito, no? So, it means to say that to execute the function, click Shift, okay? And that button, and lalabas na po yung factorial symbol. Again, Shift, kung nasaan mo po yung factorial. So, it's here. Ayan. And if you press equals, you get the same answer, which is 120. Ayan po. Also, another computation that we do in probability aside from factorial ay permutation and combination. So, halimbawa po, the permutation of 5 taken 3. The permutation of 5 taken 3. So, in the long computation, the permutation of 5 taken 3 is 5 factorial all over 5 minus 3 factorial. Tama po ba? Ganyan po siya sinosolve, di ba? Ayan, baka medyo mahaba po siya i-compute, no? Hintayin lang natin lumabas. Ayan. Then you click equals, which is 60. No? Now, you don't have to do this in the calculator because you have permutation embedded in ClassWiz. Nandito po siya sa time symbol. So, if you want 5 permutation 3, the permutation of 5 taken 3, just click 5. Permutation, which is at the multiplication button, but it's yellow. So you have to press Shift. You have to press Shift. So Shift, this one. So may lalabas po diyang P, then 3. Ayan, 5P3. And if you click equals, you still get 60. Okay, you also get 60. So no need to memorize the formula for permutation because you can automatically solve permutation problems in the calculator. Aside from permutation, isa pang common na ginagawa natin sa statistics is of course yung combination. No? Yung combination po. Now, if you want to execute combination, the long formula, kung the combination of 5 taken 3. The combination of 5 taken 3, usually it's 5 factorial all over 5 minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial. 3 factorial there. And pakagandahan niya, no, pag nagkamali ka ng pindot, pwede mong i-erase. No? You can go back and you can correct the computation. Ayan po. So, ganyan na po ang mga notebook display na calculator. Which is the same, which is also a function of ClassWiz. So, hindi mo na kailangan i-type ulit. Kung may gusto kang baguhin, you just use the arrow keys to go to the part where you have to change. Kung halimbawa, ito po, gusto mo, ito ay gawing 2. So, ganun lang, no? I-delete mo lang, you click delete, then change it to 2. So, palitan ko po ulit ng 3. Ayan. Okay? So, this is the long computation for combination, and it will give us 10. So, the combination of 5 taken 3 is 10 if we will use the formula for combination. Now, combination is already a function of ClassWiz. To execute, ito po ay katabi lamang, nasa division symbol lamang po. So, to use combination, halimbawa, combination of 5 taken 3, just click 5. Combination of 5, the combination of 5 taken 3. Click 5, Shift, divide, then 3. Okay, so the screen should display something like this. And if you press equals, you will still get the same answer. Okay po. So, kagandahan po nito, if you're doing these kinds of calculations, you can already combine, no? Because, you know, there are some probability problems that entails you to solve a combination of permutation and combination solution. So, pwede na pong halo-halo pag nag-solve ka, pwede mong pagsama-samahin. Pwedeng 5 factorial times the permutation of 6 taken 3 times the combination of 5 taken 2 divided by 2 factorial times the combination of 4 taken 3. Okay? You can do these kinds of calculations in just, you know, one click. Or in a very simple, in just a few clicks away. Imagine if you have to solve this by hand. So napakahaba po ng solution yan. So with this one, you can do these kinds of computations, and to get the answer, you just press equals, and automatic you get the answer, which is in this case 18,000. So nakasave po tayo ng oras, no? So remember, probability is one of the most difficult subjects that you can take in mathematics because probability really is very non-algorithmic. So you start with counting, and usually the things that we count involves very large numbers. Then pagdating naman sa probability, usually it involves very small numbers kasi when you're talking about probability, ang sagot na lang dyan ay 0 to 1 inclusive, right? So you really need to use calculators to facilitate the computations. Kasi mapipressure ang estudyante mo if you will ask them to do it manually. No? So, through the use of calculators, pwede rin mag-explore yung estudyante. They can try different solutions until they get the correct answer without the pressure of long computations. Ayan po. So, yan yung mga basic computations in probability. And again, ang kagandahan po nito ay natural display. So, pag may nagkamali ka along the way, so you just use the arrow keys to go back to the portion na may error, then you can change, no? You can delete, okay? Then you can change. Okay? Ayan po. Okay. Ayan. So, you have here a binomial distribution problem. So, a higher order problem or mga latter discussion in probability. So, sabi dito, what is the probability of getting 3 heads in 7 tosses of a coin? So, this is an example of a binomial distribution problem. So, when we say a binomial distribution problem, review lang po tayong konti, no? So, a binomial distribution is the result of a binomial experiment. So, when you say binomial experiment, it's an experiment with 2 types of outcomes, or wherein you have 2 outcomes. So, tossing a coin would be an example kasi ang outcome lang yan, either heads or tail. Another example, yung dice, you can make it binomial kasi pwedeng add or even ang categories ng outcome ng dice. Sa card, pwedeng reds or black. But the idea is, a binomial distribution is defined by an experiment which has 2 possible outcomes. Yan. So, kung natatandaan nyo po, the way we solve binomial, ang formula natin yan ay NCX. Sorry, hindi ako makapag-annotate sa screen, no? NCX times P raised to X times 1 minus P raised to N minus X. Which is napakahaba, no? Mahirap tandaan, no? The good thing with ClassWiz is this is already integrated in the calculator, no? Na pwede na po kayong mag-solve, hindi na po kailangan ipasaulo ang formula ng binomial distribution sa mga estudyante because it is already embedded in the ClassWiz. So, when we say binomial distribution again, basically what you're after is the probability that you will have a certain number of success given a certain number of trials. I repeat, when we talk about binomial distribution, we are after the probability that a certain number of success will happen given a certain number of trials. Halimbawa, nag-take ka ng, halimbawa, you are taking 5 subjects, no? Meron kang 5 subjects sa masteral. Anong probability na 3 ang maipapasa mo? No? That is something that you can solve with a binomial distribution. So, kung halimbawa, ang probability na papasa ka sa isang subject, whatever subject that is 0.8. Okay, 0.8. Meron kang 5 subject, anong probability na doon sa 5, mayroong 3 na maipapasa mo? So, that's something that you can solve with a binomial distribution. So, parang ito, here, you're looking for the probability that 3 success will happen. yung success natin is whatever we're looking for. So in this case, the number of heads. So tatlong heads when you toss a coin 7 times. So the number of trials there is 7. So 7 ang n, yung x ay 3, and we're just talking of a coin. So ang probability na makakakuha ka ng head ay 1/2 lang. No? So, how do you use the ClassWiz to solve this? Yan. So, gagamitin natin yung isang function ng ClassWiz, which is what you call distribution. Distribution. So, click nyo lang po ito. So, we're at the home or with the usual screen. So, we go to menu. Ayan. So, pupunta po tayo sa distribution. So, the distribution is at number 7. So, pwedeng menu 7. You can click menu 7. Or again, use the cursor to go to 7, then click equals. Ayan. Now, it will ask you, after clicking 7, hintayin lang natin mag-adjust yung screen. Ayan. So, after clicking 7, you will have this option. So, normal, inverse normal, binomial. And as you can see, there are still more options, no? Because you have the scroll bar. So, pwedeng puson. Ayan. So, pipiliin natin yung binomial. Okay? So, this one is a basic probability distribution. No? Hindi naman po yan cumulative because we're just looking for the probability of a single value, in which case this is 3. Okay, or in our problem, 3. So, we will select binomial PD. Okay, so probability distribution. So, that is at number 4. So, click natin ang 4. Ayan. So, now, we're just looking for a variable. So, lalabas po itong option na to. You can select a list or a variable. Okay, a list or a variable. We're just after with a variable, hindi po list. Kasi 3 out of 7 lang. Isa lang yon, no? So, we will just select 2. Ayan. So, here, in the next screen, okay, you can now encode the numbers. So, x is the number of success. So, in the particular problem that we are after, that would be 3. Kasi tatlong heads. Okay? Now, n equals po to enter, no? Ayan. So, we enter 3 as x, then equals. Then, it will ask us what n is. N is the number of trials. Hintay lang tayong konti para lumabas. Ayan. N, so in our case, 7 tosses of a coin. So, there are 7 times, 7 trials, no? So, we will enter 7. 7. There. And P is the probability of success. So, ibig sabihin, probability of getting ahead, and I repeat, we're just talking of a coin. So, the probability of getting ahead is simply 0.5. Okay, simply 0.5. And, ayan, lumabas na siya. And if you click equals po. So we have already added all the crucial information to solve. Okay? You already have the, hintayin ko lang po lumabas ng screen, no? Okay, you already have the probability. So the probability that you will get 3 heads when you toss a coin 7 times is 0.2734. I repeat, so based on the problem, the probability that you will get 3 heads when you toss a coin 7 times is 0.2734. Okay? So, ganun na po siya kasimple. Hindi mo na kinailangan na, mag-substitute sa formula, tapos mag-solve ng mano-mano. No? So, it makes computations easier, and students can actually spend more time analyzing the problem. So tatandaan nyo po, pag nandito na tayo sa area ng probability, medyo nakakawindang na po ang mga problem na ibinibigay natin sa estudyante. No? So what we want again is for them to concentrate on what the problem means, okay, and how it can be solved, rather than the long or the tedious computation involving in the calculations that they have to do to solve the problem. So we can simplify the process. Yan. Okay po. Sige, next. Okay. Of the plants planted by a landscaping firm, 85% survive. So meron ka pong landscaping firm daw, kapag nagtanim daw po itong landscaping firm na ito, the chances na kung ano man ang itatanim nila ay magsa-survive is 85%. Okay? So kahit regardless of whatever plant that is. So shout out po sa mga plantito at mga plantita natin sa audience. Ayan. Kayo po kaya ilang percent ang pag-survive ng mga plants? Ayan. So, again, balik po tayo, no? Of the plants planted by a landscaping firm, 85% survive. So, ang chance na pag kung ano man ang itatanim nila, ang chance na that particular plant will survive is 85%. Now, what is the probability that 8 to 10 of the 15 plants they planted will survive? So, medyo mahaba ito ng konti if you will do it by hand. So, kasi sabi dito, what is the probability that 8 to 10? So, di ba, ano yan, tawag dito? 8 to 10. So, 8, 9, or 10. Right? So, in probability kapag or, ina-add natin. Tama? Dalawa lang naman yan. You multiply kapag and kapag or, you will add. So, what is the probability that 8 to 10 will survive? So, when you say 8 to 10, the possible values are 8, 9, or 10. Okay? So, magtatanim sila ng 15 halaman. We're looking for the probability that 8 to 10 survive. And it's a little difficult to compute. Why? If you have to do it by hand, you have to get the probability for 8, you have to get the probability for 9, and you have to get the probability for 10. So, magkakahiwalay na combination yon, magkakahiwalay na computation, and once you have finished the computations for each value, you have to add the total. So, kailangan mo pang i-add. Okay? So, that will answer the problem. Okay? So, medyo mahaba yon, no? Mahabang computations. So, how can you solve this? Sorry. Ayan. So, if you go to the ClassWiz, okay po. Okay. So, balik lang po ako. Menu. Ayan. Menu to give me the menu. So, if you click menu, this should be the screen. Ayan. So, again, we're still at the distribution because this is still a binomial distribution but you have multiple computations of a binomial distribution because you have to get it for 3 values. Then, 7. Or, since naka-highlight yung 7, kiklik ko lang yung equals. Again, ayan po, lalabas yung screen na yan. You have to go to binomial PD. Doon pa rin po tayo sa probability distribution. Okay? 4. But this time, hindi po tayo variable. So, ang option nyo po ay list or variable. So, hindi po tayo sa variable, doon po tayo ngayon sa list because you are supposed to get the probability for 8, probability for 8, 9, and 10. So, you will click 1, list. Ayan. So, here, you have to get 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now, ano po ang ilalagay niyo sa probability nito? Okay, ayan po. So, dito lalabas yung probability niyan mamaya, no? So, once you have added that, you can click equals. It will ask you the number of trials. So, in our case, hintayin ko lang pong lumabas. Ayan, so input 8, 9, 10, then press equals. If you press equals, ayan, lalabas po ito, no? So, N is the number of trials. The number of trials in this particular problem is 15 because 15 plants po ang itatanim ng landscaping firm. But the probability, well, of course, it's not 0.5, no? Ang sabi natin, 85% survive. So the probability that a plant will survive is 0.85. So that is the probability of success. Okay po? Ayan. So you have the number of trials and you have the probability and you can click now equals. And kapag press niyo po ng equals, tada! Ayan. Pag press niyo po ng equals, yung bakanting space po dito kanina ay malalagyan na ng corresponding probability. So, ibig sabihin po, yung probability na 8 ay 2.9. Yung probability na 9 ay 0.132. At yung probability na 10 ay 0.448. 0.0448. Ang kailangan nyo na lang pong gawin to solve the problem is to add these probabilities. So, no need to solve one by one. So again, to solve this, ang kailangan nyo na lang pong gawin ay i-add yung total na probability. Ayan po. Okay po. O, yun na lang yung last step. So at least yung computation per value ay madali na. So automatic na siya. No, i-add mo na lang to solve the problem. Okay, so that's another for binomial. Okay, so let's try this one. A newly married couple is planning to have 4 children. What is the probability that they will have at most 2 boys? Okay, so a newly married couple is planning to have 4 children. What is the probability that they will have at most 2 boys? So, parang ang number of trial mo dito ay 4, no? Kasi they will have 4 children. So they want to know the probability of getting at most 2 boys. So pag sinabi nating at most 2 boys, pwedeng walang boy, pwedeng may isa, pwedeng 2. No? Ayan. So parang katulad do kanina. Pwedeng list yung gamitin mo. You solve for 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Kasi at most 2 boys, so pwedeng wala, pwedeng may isa, pwedeng may 2. Or, what you can do, if you get your ClassWiz, ayan, so balik tayo, no? So, menu. Tayo lang natin lumabas yung calculator sa screen, ha? Medyo may delay lang po ng konti. Ayan. Menu, so 7. Again, sa distribution pa din, 7. Okay? We go to binomial, but this time let's select CD, no? Yung nasa baba, binomial cumulative. So it's a cumulative distribution. So nandito po tayo, click nyo lang yung down to show the other options. Ayan. So pag cumulative distribution, pag binomial cumulative distribution, it gets the probability from 0 up to certain number and it will already add the values for you. Again, binomial cumulative ay from 0 to a certain number. So we will choose 1, cumulative. Okay? So, doon po tayo sa variable 2. So this time, you have, ang x mo ay 2 boys. Your trial here ay 4 children, no? 4, there. And you're talking about, syempre, ang sex naman sa children or 2 lang, no? Usually it's just girl and a boy. So the probability of being a boy is just 0.5. No? Ayan. So if you click equals, ayan. Tada! Ayan. So that's the probability, 0.6875. So that's the probability that there will be at most 2 boys. So paano po nakuha ng ClassWiz yung sagot na yan? Ang ginawa po ng ClassWiz sa cumulative distribution, kinuha niya sa 0, kinuha niya sa 1, tapos kinuha niya sa 2, tapos ini-add niya yung tatlong probability so that you will arrive with 0.6875. Diba po? So, maikli na lamang yung computation. And if if students can solve these kinds of problem easily, you can actually give more problems for them to work on. No? So, pwedeng magdagdag ka ng exercises because, again, the computations are simple. So, you can give them more problems to analyze, to understand that they can solve. Yan. So, that is binomial. Okay. So, yun po yung mga klase ng binomial computations, no? Next. Ayan. So, Puson. Hintay lang natin. Ayan. So, Poisson distribution is another distribution in probability wherein you have to remember a formula to solve. Kasi, hindi ka makakapag-solve nito unless you can remember the formula for Poisson, which is medyo mahirap kasi may E in it, diba? May E, diba? May exponential. Yeah. So, when we say Poisson distribution, we're looking for the probability that a certain number of success will happen within a certain boundaries. So, like in the problem given on the screen, a certain intersection in Metro Manila results in 4 accidents per month on average. So, may isa ka daw kalye sa Metro Manila. On average daw, ang aksidente doon sa kalye na iyon ay 4. Ayan. What is the probability that for any given month at this intersection, exactly 6 accidents occur? Okay, exactly 6 accidents occur. So, exactly 6. So, the way we solve this is very similar to binomial. So, you know the average, 6 accidents per month. You're looking for the probability that 6 accidents will occur. To use the ClassWiz, balik lang tayo. Ayan. So, again, press menu. So, balik tayo sa distribution because we're talking about distributions, no? So, that's 7. So, this time we go to Poisson. Hindi daw yun Poisson, no? It's Poisson. Ayan. So, 6. Isa lang naman ang value na kailangan natin. So, we're just going to use PD, probability distribution. So, that's at number 2. Ayan. And we are after a variable. Isa lang naman kasi, a variable. So, we are going to press 2. There. So, we input the details now. Ang hinahanap natin na X ay number of success, no? So, ang success natin, ang definition natin ng success sa Poisson ay yung kung ano yung hinahanap mo na probability, no? Not necessarily successful event, na. Ayan. So, ito aksidente, pero dahil yun ang hinahanap natin, success yun. So, ang X natin dito ay 6. So, we will just input 6 here. 6. Then, click equals. So, after entering the number of success that we are looking for, this time you simply enter the average. You simply enter the average. So, in this case, you click 4. Okay? Click 4 equals. Okay? Then, it would already give you the probability that you are looking for. So, hindi ka na nag-substitute at hindi ka na nag-manual computation. So, to answer the problem, the probability that there will be 6 accidents in that particular intersection in Metro Manila, given that there is an average of 4 per month, ayan, is 0.1041 for any particular month. Okay? Ayan. So, kaya niya na po yung mga Poisson computations. Another, less than 2 accidents occur. So, pag sinabi nating less than 2 accidents occur, less than 2. So, pwedeng 0, pwedeng 1. hindi siya aabot ng 2, di ba? Kasi less than 2. Ibig sabihin, hindi nakasama yung 2 sa isosolve natin. Ang kailangan mo lang ay yung 0 at kailangan mo lang yung 1. So, the way you solve it is very similar to how we did it with binomial. Okay? The way we solve it was very similar to... So, iko-cumulative din natin. Kasi accumulation yun eh. 0 to 1. Again, hindi po kasama yung 2 kasi ang sabi sa problem ay less than 2 accidents. Hindi na po kasama ang 2. Ayan. So, again, menu, 7. You go to Puson. But this time, we're after the cumulative distribution because we will accumulate probabilities. No? So, we press 3. So, this time, we go to variable. Okay, variable 2. Okay, sorry about that. Ayan. So, cumulative ito, no? So, ang accumulation natin hanggang 1. Ayan. Ang accumulation po natin ay 1 kasi 0 to 1. And the average ay same pa din naman, which is 4 in that particular highway. So if you click enter, or if you click equals, the probability that it will reveal to us is, tada, hintayin lang po natin saglit lumabas. Oh, may delay lang po ng konti. Ayan. 0.0915. So, ito po ay accumulation na, no? Again, ang kinompute po ng ClassWiz dito ay probability na 0, tapos probability na 1, tapos ini-add nyo na po iyon because you use cumulative probability distribution. Okay? So, that is for Puson. Okay? Puson probability distribution. Next po. So, itry natin ito. So, another for Puson, no? So, on average, 20 typhoons hit the Philippines every year. Find the probability that for a given year, the Philippines will be hit by exactly 15 typhoons. The next is anywhere from 17 to 19 typhoons. So, to solve, parang ganun din lang, no? So, ito daw, on average, hinihit daw tayo ng 20. Ano daw ang probability na 15 lang ang dadaan sa Pilipinas? Sorry, ikamali ng pindot. Hindi pa tayo end. Ayan. So again, if you get your ClassWiz, you click menu, 7. So we're still at the Puson distribution, no? So we will go to PD, probability distribution, kasi hindi naman tayo mag-accumulate, no? Gusto mo lang 15 kung may average na 20. So we click 2 kasi Puson PD. Ang pipiliin po natin ay 2 variable. 2. So ang X natin ay 15. Because we're looking for 15. Probability that there will be 15 typhoons. Okay? Press equals. 15 typhoons. Press equals. Then for the lambda, okay, for the average, what we're going to enter is, ang sabi natin sa problem, on average ay merong 20. So ang ilalagay po natin dyan ay 20. Ayan. So 15 for the number of success, and for the average, it's 20. So if you click equals, and equals again, so that is the answer for letter A. That is actually the answer for letter A. So the probability that the Philippines will be hit. So syempre, yung data naman po niyan ay ano lang, no? It does not reflect the actual number of typhoons that passes through the Philippines. So for letter A, the probability that there will be 15 typhoons in the Philippines, given that on average there are 20, is 0.0516. So that is the answer for letter A. Okay, that's the answer for letter A. Now, for letter B, same yung average, but this time 17 to 19 typhoons. So ang ibig sabihin, you're after 17, 18, or 19. Diba? Anywhere from 17 to 19. So 17, 18, and 19. So to solve, ganun down lang ulit, no? So menu, 7. Again, we go to Puson. So hindi mo naman i-accumulate ito. You have a different type of accumulation. 17, 18, 19. You will not start from 0. No? So, click natin yung Puson PD, that's number 2. But this time, I will use the list. Kasi I will get it for 3 variables. So I will select 1. I will select 1, which is list. And it will release this table. There. So palitan lang natin ito. So ito ay 17, followed by 18, then 19. Ayan. Because you need 3, no? 17 to 19. Then, dito mamaya, lalabas. Dun sa P section, lalabas yung probability. But before we can, the probability will be revealed, you have to enter the other information. So, you click equals. Ang average natin ay 20. So, ayan. So, nasisave naman yung data kanina. So, 20, or you can change this kung ano man yung average na ibibigay sa inyo. And if you click equals, tada! Ayan. So, nandito na po yung probability na 17, exactly 17 typhoon, probability na exactly 18 typhoon, and probability that exactly 19 typhoon. So, syempre, hindi yan ang final answer. So, remember, ang sagot ay anywhere from 17 to 19, no? So, pwedeng 17 or 18 or 19. So, to get the final answer, ang gagawin lang po natin ay i-add nyo lang po yung tatlo. And that will answer letter B. So, you just add etong 0.0759, 0.0843, at 0.0888. Ganun lamang po kasimple. Ayan. So, dalawa na yun, no? Dalawang klaseng probability distribution na. Yung Puson at saka yung binomial. Another distribution in probability. Ayan. Ito, familiar tayo lahat dito, the normal distribution. Natatandaan niyo po ba nung kayo ay nag-aaral na kayo ay may daladalang z-table at para masagot ang mga problem na ito, ay gagamitin niyo yung z-table. Na kapag test at naiwan mo ang yung z-table ay hindi ka na makakakuha ng tamang sagot. Napakahirap namang sauluhin ng z-table, no? Ayan. So, fortunately, the z-table or the computation of the normal distribution, okay, computation of these probabilities is already embedded in the ClassWiz. Okay? Subukan po natin. Ayan. Yes, subukan natin. So, determine the following probabilities. So, ang sa question sa letter A, determine the probability that your normal random variable is less than negative 0.12. Determine the probability that your normal random variable is less than negative 0.12. No? So, to solve that, again, go to menu. 7, we're still at the distribution. Okay? Then, doon po lang tayo sa normal probability distribution. Normal. So, we click 1. Okay? Ayan po. Alright. So, ayan. So, paano to ginagamit, no? Here, what you will do is you will just set... Ay, wait. Sige. Sorry. Baka mas madali pag ito na lang. Okay. Menu. Okay. Sa statistics na lang po siguro tayo. Ayan. Okay. Menu statistics. Okay. Baka that's easier, no? Ayan. Menu 6. Okay. And we're still at one variable there. Okay. But we don't need this, no? Hindi po tayo dito. So, click nyo lang po yung AC there. Click option down. Okay? Then, makikita nyo po dito yung normal distribution. You will see there the normal distribution. Okay? Ulit po. Sige. So, menu 6. Medyo may lag lang ng konti. Sige. From the start. You can use it at the distribution, what do you call this? At the distribution function, but for these types of problem, it might be easier to do it in the statistics mode. So menu. Okay. Then statistics. We are at number 6. 6. Ayan. One variable po ulit. One variable. But again, lalabas po yung table where you have to enter the values, but we're not really after with that, no? Hindi po yan ang gusto natin. Ayan. Hindi po ito ang gusto natin, no? So, you can exit this. You just click AC. Ayan. Exit lang po kayo dyan. Click AC to exit the table. Then, you click option. Option. Aha. Yan. May delay lang po ng konti. Ayan. So, select type, one variable calc, data. Hindi po yan ang gusto natin. So, kung makikita nyo, meron pa pong option sa next page. So, click down. Then, makikita nyo na po dyan yung normal dist. Okay, normal distribution. So, that is at number 4. Click lang po natin ang number 4. Ayan. So, ayan. So, you will see these options, no? Ayan po. So, ano po yung mga gamit nito? If you P there, if you want it to the left of the value. Okay? So, from pag less than. Yung R, kapag greater than, then from 0 to the Z value, you use Q. Okay? Again, kapag less than P, kapag greater than, pwede na po yung R. Ayan. So, yung Q naman is just from 0 to the value. Ayan. So, number 1 is less than. Number 1 is less than. So, I will select 1. So, I will just encode negative 0.12. Negative 0.12. Okay? And if you press equals, it would already give you the probability from the negative infinity up to the negative 0.12 Z value in the normal distribution. So the answer it gave me, hintayin lang po natin na lumabas, ay tada! Ayan, 0.45224. Ayan. So hindi mo na kailangan magdala ng Z-table, no? Pwedeng nandito na lang. Okay? So paano naman yung pangalawa? Greater than 1.14. Greater than 1.14. So, pwede na, click ko lang yung AC para mag-clear. So, babalik po ako dyan. Click option, down, 4, normal distribution, 4. Pwedeng yung 3, no? Yung R. Again, click 4, tapos pipress nyo lang po yung 3. Ayan. So, 3 po ay yung R. So, 3. Then, i-enter nyo lang po yung 1.14. Okay, 1.14. Okay, then close parenthesis. There. And you click equals. So that's the probability that your normal random variable is greater than 1.14. Okay? So, remember greater than yan, no? Ayan, greater than yan. If you're using the z-table, magsasubtract ka pa from 1. Usually, that's how we do it, no? So, you can do it this way, or another way would be, balik tayo doon, no? Normal distribution, that's 4. Tapos, click mo yung 1, then 1.14, there. But you have to subtract the value from 1. If you have the normal standard distribution table, usually this is how you'll solve it. If you have the table na from 0, tapos equals, di ba? Usually ganyan. So dito, hindi ka na kailangan mag-subtract. So yung R na lang yung gagamitin mo. Ayan. O, di ba? Mas madali. So what if you have something in between? Paano pag in between naman sa normal distribution, no? Ayan. So clear ko lang po ang aking screen. Okay, so go to option again. So in between yan, no? So ibig sabihin from 0.57 at from negative 2.04 to 0.57. So ang gagawin natin, mas malaki minus mas maliit. Huh? So, then select, again, option. There, down, hanggang lumabas yung normal distribution, which is number 4. So, ang gagawin natin ay 1.57. Okay, minus, balik lang tayo ulit, option. 4, 1 ulit, hanggang lumabas yan. So, you can combine, no? Ayan. This time, we will press negative 2.04. Negative 2.04. There. Ayan. Then you click equals. And it should reveal the answer. So the probability that your standard normal variable is between negative 2.04 to 0.57 is 0.6950. Okay? So hindi mo na kailangan ng normal distribution table. So you just have to bring your calculator to solve for normal, to solve for probabilities involving normal random variables. Ayan. Okay? And ito. Ay, sorry. Palitan natin ito, no? Sorry, this is not the right, this is not the correct, what do you call this? Problem. This is a correlation and a regression problem. So we're looking for the value of Pearson R. So meron kang problem, sabi dito, a group of high school students wants to see how strong the relationship is between their row score on a quarterly assessment and their quarterly grade. The data obtained from the sample form the sample below. So you have their test score and you have their quarterly grade. Okay, you have their test score and you have the quarterly grade. You want to determine if the two are actually correlated. Okay, gusto mo natin malaman kung may relationship ba ang kanilang test score sa kanilang quarterly grade. So pag correlation ang hinahanap natin, syempre Pearson R ang gagamitin natin. And sa mga math teacher, alam natin lahat yan, no? Yung computations involved in Pearson R, yung manual computation ay napakahaba. Ilang columns kasi isa-square mo isa-isa yung x, isa-square mo isa-isa yung y, i-multiply mo isa-isa yung x by y, tapos you have to substitute it to a very long formula for you to get the correct answer. Okay? So, baka naman kaya na ng calculator para hindi na nakakalito yung pagsasolve ng Pearson R. So, tingnan natin. If you get your ClassWiz, ayan. So, statistics pa din tayo sa ClassWiz. But this time, hindi na tayo one variable lang. Doon na tayo sa two variables, no? So, we just go to menu, statistics, which is again at number 6. Okay? So, we are at number 2 this time. Again, menu 6. Menu 6, so lalabas ito. Ang gagamitin nyo ay yung nasa number 2 because you have two variables this time. Okay? A and B, or yung X and Y in the problem. So, we will select 2. There. Ayan. Lalabas yung table. Now, yung frequency ay naka-on, pero okay lang, pwede mo namang hayaan yan. Wala naman. It will not matter in the computation as long as you let the frequency of each row as 1. Pwedeng naka-1 lang naman siya lahat. Then we simply have to input each value. So you have 40 equals 45 equals 50 equals 38, 39, 42. Saan na ako? 39, 42, 46, 37, 42, 42. Ayan. So I have 10 sets, no? So these are the values of X, then I have to encode the value of Y. So the Y is 93, 94, 98, 93, 91, saan ako? 94, 94, 92, 92, and 95. So there, I have already encoded the list, no? Ayan. So I want to know whether the two are correlated. I want to know whether the two are correlated. And for that, I need the value of the Pearson R. Okay, the Pearson product moment correlation. So to solve, click ko lang yung option. Okay. Then I will click two variable calculations. If I will click that, I click 3. Ayan. So, pag kinlik nyo yung 3, yung two variable calculations, here, it will reveal the mean, standard deviation, the descriptive statistics for X, and also the descriptive statistics for Y. So, kung kailangan mo individually or kung kailangan mo yung separate values for the values of X and for the Y, you can use this. So, nandyan na yung mean ng X, yung standard deviation ng X, andyan na yung lahat, no? If you go even lower, so makikita mo, nandito na rin yung mean ng Y, diba? Standard deviation or variance ng Y, yan, minimum value ng Y, standard deviation ng Y, and so on, no? So, it gives you the individual or the per group computation of the descriptive statistics for X and Y. So, if you need those values, no need to separately compute because ClassWiz can already give that to you. But again, we're after the regression calculations or the correlation, no? To go to the correlation, click option again. Okay, option. Okay, option. Hintayin lang natin magparehas yung nakikita ko sa screen. Ayan. So, dun tayo sa regression calculation. So, that is at number 4. If you click 4, so, ayan. Regression calculations, that's number 4. 4 equals, or 4 lang. Tada! So, you have here the value of R already, which is for the two variables 0.8187, which means that the two are highly correlated, or there is a strong, positively strong relationship between the students test score and their quarterly grade. So consistent naman yung score ng mga estudyante kasi mataas yung correlation coefficient. So see, hindi mo na kailangan mag-solve ng pagkadami-dami. You did not need to solve, you did not have to solve the many columns, then substitute the formula. Hindi na, nandito na siya, no? Aside from that, it gives you the slope, which is 0.4016, and it gives you the y-intercept. So, pwede mo nang isolve ang regression line, no? Because you already have the intercept and the slope of the numbers. So, ibig sabihin, you can create the regression line, and if you know the regression line, pwede mo nang gamitin yan to predict or to make predictions. So, ano yung sinasabi natin? Halimbawa, may estudyante ako na ang test score niya ay 50. I can estimate kung ano ang kanyang possible quarterly grade because I have the value of A and I have the value of B. Okay? So, automatic na rin yun. Inire-release na rin ng ClassWiz. Ayan. So, madami pa, no? There are many types of calculations. Actually, kulang na kulang po ang 2 oras para i-discuss kung ano yung mga possible na gamit ng ClassWiz and what are the different types of computations in mathematics that ClassWiz can do. Ito lang naman yung mga common na ginagawa natin sa statistics, no? So that's I opted to show that or to show those computations. Now, as promised, ito po ay sinulat namin ng aking mga kaibigan. Ayan. This is the ClassWiz guidebook for statistics and probability, no? Ito po. Sorry, may lag lang po ng konti. Hindi siya basta-basta lumalabas. Ayan po. So this is a guidebook, no? Kung paano gamitin yung ClassWiz sa mga topics sa probability. So this is a 61-page guidebook. Ayan po. So nandito po yung mga yung mga pinakita ko kanina, yung mga basic statistical computations, mga mean, variance of discrete probability distribution. Ang kagandahan po nitong guidebook na ginawa namin, it shows you the longhand computation, how are you going to do it longhand, and how you can use the ClassWiz to simplify the computation. So sa bawat module po dito, it has the objectives, it has the call to mind to remind us what the concept is about. ClassWiz in action, it shows you both types of computations, the manual computation and how to use ClassWiz. Also, it has tried these activities and challenge exercises. So, pwede nyo na po itong ibigay sa mga estudyante nyo, no, as part of their module in statistics and probability. Ayan po. Ayan. So, sorry, medyo may lag lang po ng konti. Medyo hindi smooth ang... ayan. So, ganyan po siya, no? So, ito po ang mga sample ng content ng module. Ganyan po siya. So, nandito na po yung step-by-step process, how to execute the function using ClassWiz. And again, it has a corresponding manual computation. So, pwede nyo po itong i-incorporate sa mga module nyo sa statistics at sa probability kasi meron na rin po itong included na exercises. Yan. So, na pwede nyo pong ipatry sa inyong mga estudyante. Ayan po. Ayan. So, dahil po tayo ngayon ay online lahat, o ang maibibigay lang lamang po namin kopya sa inyo, syempre ay electronic copy, no? Pagpapasensyahan nyo na po. Pero actually, may printed copy ito, maganda sana. O kaya lang, online muna tayo. If you want to have a copy of that guidebook po for statistics and probability, pumunta lamang po kayo sa inyong mga browser and use that web link o yung website. Yan, type nyo lang po, shorturl.at/JUY_LO. And you will be able to download a copy of that guidebook. And you can use it for your respective classes po. Pwede nyo po yan ipamudmod sa inyong mga estudyante na sasagutan nila kasi may exercises na din po yan. Ayan. So again, to download, just go to shorturl.at/JUYLO, and you should be able to download a copy of that particular guidebook po. You have our permission para po tulungan tayo, no? You have our permission to use it for your respective classes. Kasi nandiyan na po yung manual process and at the same time how to use a calculator, especially ClassWiz, to use it in the statistical computations. So, and with that, ayan po, allow me to end this talk with this very nice reminder to everyone. Ang goal po ng Department of Education at ng Commission on Higher Education ay hindi nagbabago even though we're at the flexible learning modality, no? Ang gusto po nating mangyari sa ating mga estudyante ay parehas pa din. The goals of education does not change. So I would just like to remind everyone to be stubborn about your goals but be flexible about your methods. So maraming salamat po sa pakikinig, everyone, and it's really a pleasure to deliver a talk about using ClassWiz in statistics and probability to you. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Celina, for that very wonderful discussion about integration of technology in statistics and probability. At this point, let us now welcome our Casio Education Unit Head, Mr. Joel C. Serrano, for his words of encouragement and thank you message. Sir Joel.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Celina, thank you very much for that very wonderful presentation. May ano ba yan? Masama pa pakiramdam niyan, ha? Pero kita niyo naman, ang ganda ng pagkaka-deliver ng ating topic for today, no? Yung nabanggit kayo ni Dr. Celina na libro, exercises or worksheets, please try to download it. Please share it to your students and your co-teachers, no? Maganda yan, nakita ko na yung material na yan. Just so happen right now, nasa pandemic tayo. So tama si Dr. Celina. Medyo electronic.
Sayang, no? Gusto sana. Actually, binadgetan ng Casio yan. That's just so they can print the guidebook. May mga printed guidebooks po talaga tayo. Kaya lang po, naabutan kami ng pandemic bago na ipamudmod. So sa ngayon po, ay ano muna tayo? Digital copy.
Sharing muna tayo, no? So, nakakatuwa yung presentation. I really stay tuned, Dr. Celina, kasi totoo lang, ang dami pa palang mga technique na dapat may share sa mga teachers, no? Mga shortcuts, something like that. Kasi during my time in college days ko, single line calculator ang ginamit ko, no? So simply imagine lang yung statistics for tables, you know, yung mga z-test na yan. Anyway, maraming salamat ulit, Doc Celina, and hope to see you again sa mga future tie-ups with DepEd, ETU.
Yes. Ano naman tayo, lagi tayong willing mag-share for DepEd, also with Casio Education. By the way, hindi ko na lang po ma-share kasi kulang na yung oras, but you know, probably our viewers can explore the materials available ng Casio Education, di ba, Sir Joel? Marami kayong materials pwedeng gamitan ng mga teachers, aside from the guidebook na sinulat namin.
Yes. They can simply visit it. Yes, ma'am.
May Casio Education app po. Baka gusto nyo i-try.
Yeah. That's true.
I think Sir Joel, you would like to say something about this, the NTech Manila.
Kasi right now, basically, nasa pandemic nga tayo. So, yung mga buyers natin, medyo they're afraid to go out. So anyway, aside from yung calculators na discuss, especially the pink one, available na yan sa mga retail shops like SM, Pandayan, and of course, National Bookstore, Warehouse. Anyway, kung gusto nyong bumili online, meron din naman. One of our partners, si NTech Manila, they're offering free shipping yata for NCR clients. Zero cost ng shipping, no? And they have some freebies pa. So try to avail it. Sayang naman, and take opportunity of it. Yun lang, Sir Buddy.
Thank you, Sir Joel Serrano. So, tulad ng ating nakagawian, we have our commentator, at alam ko medyo familiar si Dr. Sarmiento sa ating guest commentator this afternoon. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics, degree at Philippine Normal University, class 2014. He is currently studying Master of Arts in Mathematics Education with specialization in college teaching at the same university. He's currently teaching grade 10 mathematics and grade 7 elective elementary statistics at Tinajeros National High School in the Division of Malabon City. He is also a part-time college instructor, teaching major subjects of BSc Mathematics students at the City of Malabon University. Let's all welcome our guest this afternoon, Mr. Hill Dion A. Basa. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Ayan.
Ayun ba, Sir Hilyon?
Medyo nagkaroon lang tayo ng medyo parang biglang nawala sa stream si Sir Hill. So, but before that, siguro we're waiting for our guest this afternoon. Siguro let's have our last message from our resource speaker, Dr. Celina Sarmiento. Dr. Sarmiento, any message to our teachers, mathematics teachers po?
Ano lang po tayo, no? Ako po talaga, I'm one of those teachers who promote the use of technology in mathematics. Not just calculator, actually. It's just that it's one of the easiest technology that you can avail in your classroom. But there are many types of technology that you can use that would actually help you do more things in a regular math class. So tatandaan po natin, nasa na tayo, 2021 na. Ibang-iba na po ang landscape ng education and we're actually preparing our students for a different industry. Ayan. So dapat po iba na rin po ang perspective natin kung paano nagtuturo ng math because our students will be immersed in an industry who's really into technology. So, part po ng task natin ay hindi lamang magturo ng mathematical concepts but to teach the different types of technology that awaits our students when they reach the industry. So, wag po natin kalilimutan na i-integrate yan sa ating mga lesson. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Sarmiento. Now let's have Sir Hill. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon po. Hi, ma'am. Ayan,
Presentation.
Ayun, first of all po, of course, I would like to thank Casio Education, of course, for this seminar. Kasi siyempre, napakalaking tulong po sa amin itong kaming mga teachers, especially kami na nasa junior high. Ayan. And then, I would also like to thank DepEd, EdTech unit, yan, for this webinar. And then, I would like to congratulate, ayan, si Ma'am Celina. Actually, hindi ko sure kung kilala ko ni Ma'am, pero former, ko siya, prof nung undergrad. Yun, ganun din, elementary statistics yung subject. So parang sakto talaga siya.
Alam, batch ng
2014, Ma'am.
2014.
Kami yung kami yung merge, Ma'am. Sobrang dami namin, parang buong BSE, Ma'am. Kaya parang imposible na makilala mo ko dun, Ma'am. 100 students po ata ka.
Your name rings a bell. But hindi naman kita estudyante sa grad school.
Hindi pa nga po, Ma'am, eh. Akala ko sa proba. Pero hindi nangyari.
Proba ako ngayon.
Ayun po. Anyway, I would like to commend some points po na pinakita ni Ma'am, like yung focus on the concept. Yun po kasi yung pinaka-importante. Parang, di ba, when we are using the calculator, importante rin na alam natin yung concept. Kasi kung hindi rin natin ma-maximize yung functions ng calculator. Kaya nakakatuwa yung part na nag-focus si Ma'am muna sa concept. Kasi yun po talaga yung, para ma-apply mo ng maayos yung calculator, you need to know the concepts. And then also, yung emphasis on the functions of the calculator. Like kung kailan gumagamit ng cumulative, yung kailan yung hindi cumulative, yung ganon. And then also, for the meron yung sa combination kanina, yung permutation. Yun pa example lang sa concepts na nakikita natin na pwede mo siyang pakita na manually na ito yan, may mga factorial. And then you can also use yung function mismo na P and then yung C, yung for the combination. Yan. And then lastly, yung pinaka-importante sa lahat, yung analysis dun sa mga problems. Kasi Doon po talaga lagi nagsisimula. As teachers, parang yung calcu will serve as an instrument eh. Hindi din natin pwedeng idepende na lang din sa calcu lahat eh. Parang tayo pa rin talaga yung magmamanipulate nung calcu para magamit natin po siya ng maayos. Ayun po. Kaya thank you po ulit and
Yes.
congrats po ulit, ma'am.
Thank you. Salamat, Phil. Thank you.
Sir.
Sana maging estudyante na kita.
Yun nga po. Hoping din, ma'am.
So let's now call on Sir Joel Serrano. Sir Joel, any
Hi,
last
Sir Buddy,
message?
good afternoon. Sir, ikaw ba hindi ka naging estudyante ni Doc Celine?
Nung undergrad daw. Nung undergrad.
LMEd ang major ko po kasi sa PNU.
I see. Okay lang. So from my end, again, maraming salamat sa DepEd ETU sa pag-assist sa amin for today. Sir Buddy, Sir Mark, Dr. Celine, maraming salamat ulit, no? And to the PNU administration, no, for supporting us. Sir Hill, maraming salamat. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo, ha, the next time.
Awa.
So again, dun sa mga nag-i-invite sa amin na for free workshop, PNU lang kami bahala sa inyo. So maraming salamat again and thank you.
So I think, Sir Joel, next week we're going to have another set of webinar session.
Nasa pipeline pa tayo. Let's see kung paano yung atake na sa susunod ng mga episodes.
And thank you, DepEd, no, for the initiative, you know. Kailangan ito ng ating mga teacher and Casio education also.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you, DepEd. Yeah, thank you.
Again,
And Casio.
Thank you, Sir Hill. Thank you, Sir Joel Serrano, and thank you, Dr. Celina Sarmiento. I hope hindi ito yung huli. I hope makasama pa namin kayo ulit dito sa ating EdTech Unit webinar session for our mathematics teachers. And kung naninibago kayo kasi dati nag-air tayo ng 10 o'clock to 12 as we observe yung mga nangyayari with our previous session. So safe to say na 3 to 5 p.m. na po tayo sa mga susunod nating webinar session. So again, thank you, Sir Joel Serrano. Thank you, Sir Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc Celina Sarmiento. And natapos na naman po ang ating isa MathTech Day, Casio Technology Session. Hatid pa rin sa atin ng Educational Technology Unit in partnership with Casio Education, Casio Calculators, sa pamumuno ng ating kaibigan na si Ginoong Joel C. Serrano. So, to formally end our session this afternoon, lagi nga natin sinasabi, sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong tayo sa pagsulong ng edukalidad sa ating bansa. Paalam at maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Hello teachers, learners, and parents. Sir Jeff po, at your service. Alam nyo ba na meron tayong website na tinatawag na DepEd Commons? Ang DepEd Commons ay binuo upang gawing accessible ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral dito sa ating bansa gamit lamang ang inyong mga smart devices gaya ng cellphones, tablets, at computers. Dito ay maaari nating ma-access ang iba't ibang learning materials mula sa Department of Education. Meron itong mga interactive materials, electronic self-learning modules, at instructional video lessons mula sa DepEd TV na tiyak na makatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral galing ka man sa public o private school. Walang problema dahil welcome ang lahat dito. Para ito sa mga guro, magulang at mga mag-aaral mula sa kinder hanggang grade 12, alternative learning system o ALS, at pati na rin ang special education. At huwag kang mag-alala dahil kahit walang load ay maaari mong ma-access ang mga learning materials. Tama! Libre ito. Ang kailangan mo lamang gawin ay i-on ang iyong data at buksan lamang ang iyong browser at i-type ang commons.deped.gov.ph. Alam na ba ng iyong mga kasamahang guro o mag-aral ang tungkol sa DepEd Commons? I-share mo na ang video na ito upang matuto rin sila kung paano gagamitin ang DepEd Commons sa mabilis at napakadaling paraan. Muli, ito po si Sir Jeff at kita-kits po tayo sa DepEd Commons. Paalam! Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating Itulay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan sa Lunes mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating Ito Live free online tutorial session sa Science. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating Ito Live tutorial session sa DepEd EdTech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!